Hello and welcome. You are listening to another one of Michaela Silverthorne's stories, and today we're going to be talking about facing your fears. So, this story starts off with me volunteering at a new garden center. I'm expecting to be pulling weeds and maybe planting something. It's late in the season, so there wasn't really much to be doing other than pruning and pulling things out of the ground, preparing for winter. But this is not just a garden center. They have a butterfly house and they host events. So I decided I would volunteer for a kids' school trip. I thought that would be a cool experience. And that in itself is as a whole nother story. But I'm just trying to set up for how I got to where I was. All right, so I had volunteered for this school field trip. I think kids were about 8 years old. And after it was over, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with the rest of my day. Because I'm in my 20s. I like living life unplanned. So there I am in this beautiful garden center that I've almost never been to. And I go, you know what? I'm just going to hang out here. There's no reason why I can't stay. They got like tables and stuff around. And I'm a writer, right? Hence why I'm telling stories on here. I love stories. I love to write. And I also like having peace and quiet and being outside alone in nature while doing it. So I find this isolated table. There's no one else over there. I'm like, cool. This is perfect. It's a little shady. What could go wrong? Well, there was a path right next to me. And this is in the back of the garden center. And across from the path, there are beehives. 2 beehives that they keep in little containers. And they're a path away from me. It's fine. It's not that big a deal. I was a little uncomfortable because growing up, I used to have nightmares about bees. I used to be terrified of them. And I one time stung myself with a bee. As a kid, I was playing with a bee in the backyard, and I stung myself with it. Other than that, I have never been stung by a bee before. And yet still, I had nightmare after nightmare where bees had taken over the entire house or they were trying to take over the world or whatever. Just crazy kid nightmares. So I'm over here, I'm like, yeah, I'm closer to the bees than I would like to be, but I love bees. Like, they give us food. They pollinate the flowers. I appreciate them. But I'm just there writing. I'm doing my thing. And there is noise, and so I ended up putting little ear pods in and listening to music because there was people talking or something. I don't remember exactly what. But there was some sort of noise that was making it hard for me to focus, and so I put some music in. And I'm just doing my writing. My intuition tells me to look up for a second, and I see a guy in a bee suit go over to the beehives. And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and he doesn't motion for me to get up or anything. So I'm like, okay. I figure this guy will tell me to leave if I need to leave. Right? He can see that I'm sitting there. I can see that he's standing there in a bee suit. I don't think anything of it. Well, next, another guy comes up in a bee suit. And I know they're doing their thing, and I'm just trying not to pay attention. It's making me a little nervous, but I'm like, okay, I feel like I should just sit here and just trust that everything's going to be fine. I don't need to be paranoid about everything, okay? Well, as I'm sitting there and I'm writing, a sense of dread fills me. I just feel this, like, oh shit sensation. I guess maybe I am picking up on their feelings or something. I don't know. But I can just feel, like, you know what I'm talking about when I say that, like, the sensation goes where you're like, oh no. Like when you drop a glass thing on the floor and right before it hits and shatters, you have the sensation. I had that sensation, and I was just sitting there writing. I hadn't done anything. I look up. There are bees everywhere, flying like this and that. They're all over the place. There's just bees and more bees. And I'm sitting there like, I take out, I like slowly move and take out my earpod. Like, I, is this my imagination or is this real? Sure enough, I can hear the bees buzzing around, flying about. And I look over to the guys in the bee suit. And one of them's like, I need you to get up slowly and slowly walk away. And I'm over here like, this is my life's work right here, right? This is the first book I am ever going to publish, and I'm in the middle of writing it. And I'm like, I can't leave this thing behind. And I start grabbing my stuff. And he's like, leave your stuff, we'll bring it to you. Just go. Go. I'm like, okay. I'm going to just walk out of here. And so I realized the bees didn't sting me. They swarmed everywhere, and they haven't stung me. Because I'm not afraid of them. But as I'm walking away, I'm more and more, like, my adrenaline is getting a little more and more tense. I'm starting to get a little more worried. I'm trying to push it down, but the worry is coming up because, again, I was terrified of bees as a kid, and now I am being swarmed by them. I'm like, this is 2 beehives right here that is swarming me. They're all around me right now, and at any point, one of them could just get pissy and sting me. But I keep walking. I'm pretty much out of them, and I feel one of them has targeted me. I can feel like I have been targeted, and I just book it. Like, I used to run track. I can run fast when I need to. I haven't done much running for a while. I need to get better about that. And so it hurts me, like an old person who's like, oh gosh, my back. Oh, that's how I feel now, because I ran track when I was 14, and now I am 24, and I haven't done that much running in between. So I book it, and I feel my body doing the little aches of, oh gosh, I need to do this more often because it's hurting me. I'm too young to have this pain. But anyways, I book it. People see me and they're like, what the heck is she doing? But I don't care. I am not ready to get stung by a bee today. I do not need that in my life. And I take off my poncho, or actually, I had left my poncho. I was wearing my sweater. Yeah. So I take off my sweater and I throw it on the ground, and I watch the bee sting it, just trying to sting my sweater. And I was like, oh my gosh. This close to being stung. So after that, I just kind of like sit there and I'm like, well, there's nothing I could really do. I'm just going to sit here and wait for my stuff. But yeah, the adrenaline is just rushing. I'm like, just got swarmed by 2 beehives and I didn't get stung. What? How does this happen? Like, am I just like a magical unicorn? Sometimes it feels that way. It feels like the universe wants to like toy with me, or God wants to toy with me, play with me, and then be like, nah, we're not actually gonna hurt you. We just want to scare the shit out of you. Like my brother's cat when she pops out of nowhere. She doesn't actually want to attack me and hurt me. She just wants me to be afraid of her for about 2 seconds. And she's pretty good at it. And so eventually, the guy gets my stuff and he sets it down. And like, okay. They feel really bad. They feel so guilty. He's like apologizing to me. He doesn't want to come near me though, because he has like bee pollen on him and stuff, and the bees are still like trying to sting him a little bit. But he leaves my stuff over there, and I guess whatever bee pollen sappy stuff he had on his hand must have gotten on my poncho a little bit. Or maybe it was because there's some red on there. I've heard that bees get angry when they see the color red. Or maybe it's just because it smells like an animal. It's made out of like alpaca, I think. I'm not entirely sure which thing it was. But something about my poncho made one of the bees angry. And now there's a bee trying to sting it. And so I have to stand there longer and wait for this bee to stop trying to sting my poncho. And eventually the bee's like gone, right? I go back to try and get it. The bee starts coming right back, and I'm like, okay, you could just have my poncho for right now. I don't need it that bad at this moment. But eventually I do get my stuff. And I'm like, I am getting out of here. I am leaving. And so this is my story about being swarmed by 2 beehives in a garden center. It's not really something you expect when you walk into a garden center. But yeah, and I don't blame the guys for this happening. I think that sometimes that kind of thing just happens. They weren't expecting the beehives to explode. They probably just dropped it or something. And yeah, I guess they should have asked me to get up and leave. But I saw them. I made eye contact with them. I knew they were there. They knew I was here. Or sitting like nearby. Yeah, at the end of the day, I didn't get stung. So all is good. And it really helps me face that fear of bees. This and some other moments in my life have really helped me face that fear, because in that moment I chose to not let fear control me. I chose to be like, yes, I'm being swarmed by bees, and I'm not going to freak out. I chose in that moment to trust that I would be okay. And because I trusted that I would be okay, I believe that that's how I was swarmed by 2 beehives and did not get stung. It is really important to trust in luck, so to speak. Have faith that things will work out in the end. We're all going to be faced with trials and tribulations. But we need to trust ourselves that we will make it through those trials and tribulations. And that is the message of my story here today. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back for the next one. Have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing day.